Alrighty, everyone, we have another one. This one's a little vague, but it comes from Cisco, and they have posted and announced that they are concerned about some increases in brute force attacks. And so their research is showing that some VPN, SSH, and some other web app services are being targeted, and that they have noticed an increase in these attacks. And so basically, VPN SSH services are experiencing an increase in brute force attack attempts. So the researchers that are working on this from Cisco is Becca Lynch, Brandon White, Philip Schaefer, and Mike Morin. And so these are the team members who are trying to help figure out what's going on, and they're the ones that have noticed the increase in these attacks and attempts. So there's not really a lot to this one. It's basically a brute force attack. They're using generic user IDs and maybe valid user IDs, valid user names and IDs that have come from organizations that they appear to have access to. The attacks seem to be random. No specific organization or group seems to be targeted for it, but if you pay attention to some of the forums, there are individuals who are coming out and saying that their organization or where they work, they've noticed increase in these attempts. And so it's how are these originating? Cisco believes that these are originating from like Tor exit nodes, anonymizing tunnels, and proxies. Again, the research group that has noticed this and is trying to reach out and notify people and warn them is Cisco's Talos, and this is their threat intelligence and research group, and their main players on this one actually come from their Duo security group. And so some of the terms that we've come across in the articles that I read, which was from Security Week, include IOC, which is incidents of compromise. And what is an incidence of compromise? These are clues and patterns that researchers and investigators pick up on, and then they share. In this situation, they have posted some IP addresses on GitHub, and this is the link, and you can also find it in the credits. So what is a proxy? A proxy is basically an in-between, an intermediary between a client and a server that tries to help improve your privacy, security, and performance. It's usually used kind of for anonymizing, but I'm not sure if you could really define it that way. So SSH is a secure shell. It is a network protocol that allows computers to communicate using encrypted channels or encrypted connection, often used like in remote logins to servers. What is Tor? Tor is the onion router. A lot of people have heard about Tor. Basically, it's an open source software. It's levels of anonymizing communication. Volunteers participate in it. It basically it directs internet traffic through like a volunteer overlay network, and there's thousands of relays, and it helps muddy the waters so that people don't know where something is coming from. And a Tor exit node is basically on the edge of this, and it's probably the last node that is used, and then it comes to like a regular internet. So in this case, if someone's trying to attack you from using a Tor process, that last exit node may be some of the IP addresses that you'll see in the incidents of compromise. And so basically, organizations should get hold of these lists, and they should block these nodes. VPN is a virtual private network. Basically establishes, again, it's kind of along the lines of what you've been hearing me say already. It's a digital connection between a computer and maybe a remote server owned by a VPN provider. It creates like a point-to-point tunnel that helps encrypt the data, masks the IP addresses, and tries to help you work around or step around firewalls and location processes that you might want to avoid. And so there's not a lot of credits to this. The credit goes to GitHub, I'm sorry, to Cisco Talos. It goes to Security Week for providing the article that I read. And Wikipedia, of course, is always a go-to. And and I think I have one from Microsoft on here. I think I tried to find a better definition of VPN. And so the few sites that I went to this time is here's the threat advisory from Cisco. It's their Talos team, and this was from yesterday. And so if you read it, it basically says the same thing. It recognizes the team members that participated in the research to help identify these attacks. It talks that it says that they're actively monitoring a global increase in these attempts. It mentions services that may be affected by this. And so you'll notice that they mention a lot of their products because they want you to be aware of it. And it says that the attempts use generic username and valid usernames for specific organizations. It talks about the source IP addresses coming from the following proxies, the Tor, and some other anonymizing um, systems or appliances. The list provided in this article is not complete, and due to the significant increase in high volume of traffic, they have added the known associated IP addresses to their block list, and that's the one that is on GitHub. And then basically down here it says as these attacks target a variety of VPN services, mitigations will vary. And so just be on your P's and Q's, on alert. Make sure that you know how your processes work at your company and try to help prevent these and protect. And then, of course, it says incidents of compromise. And again, it says they're including username and passwords used in these attacks for awareness. And then again, the IP addresses and credentials associated with these attacks can be found at the GitHub repository. And I think I have it right here. So Cisco incident of compromise right here. And so you can download these and look at them. And I think that is it. I hope that helps. Thank you. See you later. Bye.